Hey everybody, welcome to
Day 13.
day 13. Some people say it's unlucky. Some people don't care.
I don't care.
Are you an unlucky person?
Mm-hmm.
Had to explain to the kids one time why they don't put a floor 13 in buildings, like when you get on the elevator and stuff.
Goes 12, 14, yeah.
Yeah. People are weird. I mean, you would think that would not be a thing anymore, but I guess it is. So, anyway, day 13.
Mm-hmm.
It happens to be Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day, depending upon which side of that political correctness spectrum you end up on. Both are important.
Yeah.
So, no, today, our microphone's halfway across the room. I don't know if that's going to affect anything. Hold on.
I'm glad you saw it then.
Okay. I don't know if this is any better. I guess we'll find out when this is done. Anyway, day 13. I thought today we would talk a little bit about teenage attitudes.
Yeah.
So, we've sort of battled through this with the older kids, but they were a little bit more, sort of like one at a time.
Yeah.
Allison went through her phase, and then she sort of moved on, and then Jaden went through her phase, and then she sort of moved on, and Reagan hadn't really had much of a phase yet. I think she's kind of developing one. She's got a little freedom now that she has a vehicle that's not attached to you or me, and
Yeah.
so I think she's kind of getting one. But Thomas and Lauren, they're right there together, and they're both going through the early teen phase right now, and it might be the death of them.
It's something that we've talked about, though, for years, that I think they're a little bit more difficult because they feel like, whether they're 14 and 15, they feel like they're as old as the oldest ones, 18 and 20.
Yeah, and it's probably less of that than it is just that teenage attitude.
They got some rolly eyes.
Ugh.
They sigh.
At everything.
And then they're snarky.
Yeah, I talked to Lauren on the phone. If I could have reached through the phone today and gotten a hold of her, I certainly would have. But we know that it's a phase, but you still have to deal with it when it comes. And it's awful. I hate it. So.
But I do have to say, just a couple of days ago, whenever we had Jaden here, it was encouraging for her to say, Mom always told me it was going to be da-da-da-da. That's how it is. So I found that encouraging, that she's getting to that side where maybe we're not the...
I think you liked it because she said that you were right. I think I know you well enough to know that's probably the case.
Yeah?
If she would have said I was right, you wouldn't be telling this story.
I think I would. I think that we finally got past that point of, you don't know anything, to, well, they were right.
On some things. She's
Yeah.
probably got a few more left that
Yeah.
she's going to have to figure out on her own.
Well, Allison does too.
So, but we've found that if you can keep from killing them, that it does eventually get better. I know that some of you out there are probably dealing with teenagers for a first time, and I'm sure that there are some of you that handled it way better than we have. So what you got to do is just sort of hold on. You got to get in there and hold on and know that it's going to end at some point.
And it's always better to be the line that they don't go past this line and not just be their friend.
Yeah, in our society today, it's so interesting to me. I guess I heard maybe 2 or 3 stories in the last 24 hours about how things need to change so that kids don't have to deal with the stress.
Right.
We don't want them to be stressed at school. We don't want them to be stressed in doing homework. We don't want them to have to endure any kind of struggle. And I'm telling you, you're setting your kids up for failure when you do that, because
It's not realistic.
Life is full of struggles. No matter how much we protect them now when they're young, once they're on their own, they're going to have to figure out how to deal with the struggle. Whether it's how you deal with your boss at work, paying the bills at the house. There are times that the money's tight and you got to figure out, what sacrifices you're going to make in order to be able to keep the lights on, for example. So, we're not doing them any favors by making every single thing that they do easy.
Exactly. We had that conversation today, too, during all of the drama of the SAS, and we put into priorities the things that must happen in priority-wise, like work, paying the bills, then the things that come down past that. And it's something they don't understand because they don't have to work and pay the bills.
Kids have been kids forever. I just find it interesting that as a society now, we believe that kids should be without stress. Some could probably make the argument that that's why we have some of the social struggles that we have today. But I'm no psychological expert, so I'm not going to get into all of that. For us and at our house, we encourage our kids to learn to deal with the stress. How do you, when one of them gets into a bind at school, we don't call the school and go, hey, fix this for our kid. We say, okay, child, you've gotten yourself into this situation. Now, what is the way to fix it? What do you need to do in order to get it corrected?
And what conversations do you need to have?
Yeah, and most of the time they'll roll their eyes and huff and puff for a little bit until you actually say, okay, listen, just focus for a minute and tell me what you would do if the roles were different. What would you expect? And so when we start talking through it, they feel more comfortable about it and they go take care of it. Now that's the bulk of our situations with them, and we occasionally have to get involved and sort of referee between the child and the student. But whenever there's a situation, the child comes home and says, Teacher X was unfair to me. I say, okay, tell me your story. And then we will occasionally go to the school and find out the other side of the story. But it's never, we just sit around and go, well, you know what, that teacher you deserve another chance, and that teacher's wrong. That's not the case, So you got to teach your kids to deal with the stresses.
Mm-hmm.
That's it? Just
Well, okay, so we have one kid that has a struggle with doing stuff at school, and sometimes it is that we have to say, you're going to lose privileges at home if you don't take care of this, because it's your responsibility to take care of it. And that typically, whenever we draw that line, is whenever things get resolved.
Yeah.
So sometimes we have to impose some stress.
Yeah. Take away privileges. If they're looking to expand their privileges, if they want to have a special friend or something, then that's just one more opportunity. 1950s. If they want to be able to date, if they want to be able to, what do the kids say now? We're talking. If you want to talk with someone, then you better shape up around the house. So.
Responsibility before all the other stuff.
Responsibility before make-out ability?
No. You're going to give me a heart attack.
Oh. Eventually, they'll all make out.
No.
So, anyway, to sort of bring this back around, the teenage years are a real struggle. Nobody's ever really gone through this as a parent and said, you know what, I loved those teenage years. Those were the best years of our relationship. It sort of goes up and down. I think one thing that we've discovered so far is the fact that the kids don't remember the awful times as much as they remember the good times. So be intentional about making moments with your kids.
Give yourself a little grace.
Yeah. Believe me, you're not the only family that's struggling. We all are. So, but yeah, I mean, be intentional about doing things with them, creating memories, whatever that may be. They might want the newest phone or the newest jeans or all that kind of stuff. That stuff doesn't really matter. Family getaways on the weekend mean a whole lot more.
I'm going to tell you what, we have way more fun with our kids whenever we actually leave and go and do something for 2 or 3 days and we take their phones away, because then they engage with each other.
It takes them about 12 hours or so to detox from having a screen in front of them right there. But once they do, it's usually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So, parents, hang in there. The struggle is real. We are in the middle of it as well. We've gotten through more than half of them, I think, at this point.
I don't know.
It's sort of right in there. 2.5.
Maybe.
So.
Maybe.
Anyway, all right. Tomorrow, day 14, and actually the actual 2-week mark, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or is today the 2-week mark, and then it starts a new week? I always get confused.
No. Tomorrow is 2 weeks, and then the next day starts
15
the 3rd.
starts a new week.
Yeah.
See, I don't know how to figure that out. It's like the new math. You want to get me off on a real tangent?
No.
That's another thing that's screwed up about our kids today.
Common Core math.
I don't know what it's called. It's called lunacy in my book. Anyway, that's another topic for another time.
That was, and I will say, in our house, that had many meltdowns at the kitchen table because I love math. And I would just tell them how to do math like we learned to do math. And they would say, I can't do that. I've got to show my work. I'm like, this is just crazy.
You know where 7 plus 6 is 13 and not 14?
Yeah.
So whatever. So anyway, day 14 coming up. We're going to finish up the second week. And then on day 15, we'll start the third week because that's what the mathematician told me. So we're looking forward to it. If you guys like what you see, make sure you subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe on YouTube. We send this out a lot on Facebook and Instagram, but you guys, if you'll subscribe on YouTube, that would be awesome as well. Thank you. We appreciate it, and we'll see you tomorrow.